What is up, Discovery Student Ministries? Welcome to another Wednesday night in homes in our small groups. We're so excited to have you here. Nathan,
Woo!
what are you looking forward to today?
Today, I'm looking forward to it finally being a little bit colder. I'm so glad that the temperature has changed. And who would have guessed that first snow that we had? I'm just kidding. I don't know. I'm making a prediction right now because we filmed these secret in advance. We don't really know what's going to happen.
Right.
But I'm hoping for snow.
That's pretty early, don't you think?
Wait, not that. I mean, normally our first big one's by Halloween, but we could get one by next week.
Maybe just light dusting.
By tonight, I mean.
Oh man. All right. I need to blow out my sprinklers then. All right, we're going to start off with the game. Okay?
Love it.
This game is called International School Lunches.
Okay.
The question is, who made these lunches? We are going to see a school lunch from somewhere around the world. And we have to guess
where it was made.
Where it was made. So what country? It's going to be multiple choice. So
it's
at
multiple
home,
choice.
you guys try and figure out which one you think it's going to be.
Got it.
I have heard great things about this game.
Okay.
A handful of other youth groups have played this exact game. And I was told by a youth pastor friend of mine, dude, you got to do this one. It was a hit with my group.
I love it.
If it's not a hit with you guys, let me know so I can hit him. I mean, wait, what?
That's fine.
We'll cut that part. We'll come back to this.
No way.
Leave it all in.
Leave it all.
All right. So where is this school lunch from? You ready?
I'm ready.
All right. So we have popcorn chicken, mashed potatoes, peas, fruit cup, and a chocolate chip cookie. This, I feel like, seems pretty
popcorn chicken.
Pretty simple. Popcorn chicken is just a fancy name for small chicken chunks.
Yep.
Where you get more breading than you do chicken because it's cheaper.
Delicious.
Yeah. All right. So is it USA, England, Canada, or Germany? I guess we'll just say A, B, C, or D because that's easier to say. What do you think?
Sure.
What do you guys think at home?
Well, are we saying them at the same time? It's going to be a conflagration of noise.
Oh, good point. All right.
Honor system, we'll say what we thought regardless.
That's fair. What do you think it is?
I'm going D. I think it's Germany.
Wow. I feel like this is very America.
I don't know about like the peas and everything.
Oh, peas are so cheap and gross. I feel like that's what America would do. We are all about the cheap and gross here in America. Hence the bad coffee I'm drinking today.
Or Canada. It might be England. No, it's not England.
All right. What's your answer?
I'm going to actually change to C, Canada.
Canada. I think USA. What do you guys think at home? The answer is USA.
All right. It could have been.
I feel like I had this lunch. Right. You know what I'm saying? All right. Here's the next one. Oh, man. Wow. This looks incredible. Can I go to this country?
Oh, man.
You have pork with mixed veggies, black beans and rice, salad, bread, and baked plantains. Plantains are like those giant banana.
They're like giant bananas,
things.
which kind of, to me, makes me think, okay.
Yeah, so we have Jamaica, Brazil, Uruguay. That's how they pronounce it. It's weird, huh? Or Colombia. At least that's what I was told one time, and so I always laugh at it.
I love it.
Okay, I think I know my answer.
I do too.
I'm going with A, Jamaica.
I am too, mostly because of the plantains.
Because of the plantains?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
What are you guys going with? I think you're wrong, but we'll see. Oh, it was Brazil.
I was thinking, I almost said Brazil, but the plantains made me think Jamaica.
I should have looked closer at that particular rice.
The pork was, I think they do a lot of pork in Brazil.
That looks really good though.
I know, I would eat that right now.
And like some sort of roll thing.
Yeah.
Man, all right. Here's our next one. Local fish on a bed of arugula.
Woo.
Pasta with tomato sauce, caprese salad, baguette, and some grapes. What in the world? This is a gourmet lunch.
Out of lunch as kids.
USA. Wow.
Holy cow.
All right. Biden, if you're listening to this right now,
yes.
Get your head of the U.S. education food supply system. I don't know who that is, but whoever that is it still Michelle Obama? She was very involved in that when she was in office. We're going to say it's still her. Yep. So Michelle, if you're watching, can we have lunches like this in our schools?
No, I just want them for me.
In our office.
In our offices. Can we do
Pastor
office lunches?
Rick, if you're watching this, can we have these lunches every day at work?
Did you see, on a side note, that McDonald's is doing like grown-up Happy Meals?
I have seen that.
Awesome.
Yeah. And employees are really angry about it. That's weird.
All right, I've got a guess.
I think I have my guess. I'm going with Estonia.
I'm going with D, Italy.
Yeah, that's a really good guess.
Yes.
It was so good. It was correct.
They've got a caprese and they've got pasta.
I thought that was just going to give it. I thought that was too easy. So I had to go somewhere else in that region. All right.
Get one. Okay. Ooh, pea soup.
Ew. All right. Pea soup, I'm out on. Beet salad, I'm out on. Carrot salad.
Oh, okay.
That's interesting. Bread and
Hanakao.
A dessert pancake. Wait, that's like a crepe.
Yeah, with fresh berries. Now, I do know.
Wait, this is lunch? I like that
Yeah.
it's calling it a dessert. What's the main course here?
The pea soup.
Okay.
And here's the thing. Panakuchen was a restaurant in Minnesota. And that's a something word for pancake.
Yeah.
And because of that, I think I know the answer. My guess.
Oh.
I've got a guess.
Yeah.
Because of the word panakuchen
Interesting.
as pancake. So on panakau, I'm assuming is
Yeah.
related.
I feel like it could go with any one of these 4 options. You have Sweden, Finland, Latvia, and Norway.
Mhm.
I think I'm going to settle with Norway.
Okay, I'm going Sweden.
Okay.
And we're
it's
both
Finland.
wrong.
Man,
See,
are you
now,
guys beating us?
panakuchen was a Swedish word, I thought, for pancakes. So
Well, maybe it is, but then
this is still a Finland.
Hanako or
Finland
whatever
is close enough.
is Finnish. Yeah. Yeah, they're all in that area.
They're all.
I mean, you have Eastern European, right?
Well, no, it's the
Latvia is Eastern European.
Yeah, but Sweden and Norway. What do they call that whole area?
Sweden, Norway land. Yeah.
Okay.
We have fish soup,
Ooh.
tofu over rice, kimchi, and fresh veggies. Is this China, Japan, South Korea, or Laos? It could be any of these.
Well, but do they do kimchi in a lot of these places?
I've-
That's the giveaway for me if I'm right.
I've been
If
to
I'm
one.
wrong, then they do kimchi other places.
I've been to one of these places,
Okay.
like for extended periods of time. I've been to another one of these places just in an airport.
Did you eat kimchi?
At none of them,
Okay.
which means I'm going to go to a different location than one of those 2.
Okay.
All right, what do you guys think? I'm going South Korea.
South Korea.
Okay. Hey.
Because kimchi's Korean.
Right.
food.
Yep.
It's so good too.
Mm.
I'd eat this one. 10 out of 10 would eat.
I think I'd rather have like chicken over rice rather than tofu.
That's fine though. Tofu.
It's a texture thing for me. I'm not a big fan of that texture, but
I
that's
like
okay.
tofu.
All right. Oh yeah. You have this looks so bland though. Steak, carrots,
know.
green beans, cheese, and fresh fruit. That's like a stinky cheese right there too. That's
It's
a good
like
one.
a brie.
Yeah. So Brie, if you're watching this, there you go.
You're named after a cheese.
I like that the fresh fruit is 3 halves of kiwi
And an apple.
and an apple, probably a half apple. But that's
Do you have
weird
to
that there's
eat the
3 halves.
skin?
I don't think
What are you
have
supposed to? How are you supposed to peel it?
I'm
at
sure
your
you get your
table?
spork. You just gazoop,
You gazoop.
gazoop.
You just gazoop.
You got to
All right, I've got
gazoop
an
it.
answer.
What's your answer?
C, France.
Oh, see, I'm thinking between France and Germany. And so since you said France, I'm going to go over to Germany.
Okay. Oh,
You
went
were
somewhere
right.
else, but
I
was
double
right.
clicked. You're right.
It
It's
was
France.
the cheese that did it.
It's always the cheese.
They love their cheese in France.
Yeah.
All
All
right.
right. Here's our next one. You have baked chicken over orzo,
Ooh.
stuffed grape leaves, tomato and cucumber salad.
Yep. Yeah.
Wait, I'm stuck on stuffed grape leaves.
Yeah.
What are they stuffed with?
That's here's
That's
the
in
thing.
the top right there.
This is, and then Greek yogurt with
Yeah,
pomegranate.
fresh oranges and Greek yogurt with pomegranate
So you would
seeds.
think, the obvious answer should be Greece. Would they give it away so much though? Because grape leaves, you can get if you go to a grape restaurant, you'll get stuffed grape leaves like that. They're delicious.
Yeah, I've never had them.
Mm.
And I like that the oranges, like, they didn't pick the orange off the tree. They picked the tree and threw the tree on the plate with you.
All right, I've got to guess.
Okay, I'm going to go Lebanon.
I'm gonna go Morocco
Okay.
because I think the Greece.
And it is
was
the
so
obvious one.
Okay,
Oh, we're
See,
terrible.
You played us this stupid game.
Well done, game. Well
because
done.
that all looked Greek, and I was like, but no way, it's that obvious.
It's too obvious. Mashed potatoes with sausage,
Ooh.
borscht,
Borscht.
cabbage, cabbage, and zerniki, which is another desert paint. What is with people eating crepes at school lunches? Ukraine,
Borscht.
Sweden, Germany, or Norway.
Now, borscht is a cold beet soup.
Yeah. So I'm looking at this,
Mhm.
and this plate looks like I'm going to give my answer right now. So you guys at home, make sure you know yours. This plate looks like it's something I would get from IKEA. So I'm going Sweden.
Okay. Now here's the thing: the cabbage makes me think Germany,
Mm-hmm.
but the borscht makes me think Ukraine. And the serniki does not sound Germanic. I'm going Ukraine. A.
Okay. Oh, well done, sir. Well done.
All right.
All right. Sauteed shrimp
Ooh.
over brown rice and vegetables, gazpacho.
Gazpacho.
Fresh peppers, bread, and an orange.
And an orange.
So well rounded. Jamaica, Portugal, Spain, or the Bahamas. I think I have my answer here.
I honestly don't know. I'm gonna have to guess. All right. What do you think? I'm going Spain.
I'm going Bahamas.
Okay.
Dang.
Oh man, that was just a shot in the dark.
Shot in the dark. Wait, that's not how it goes.
And you're
Oh, fish cakes,
Fish
Brussels
cakes.
sprouts, cabbage, rice with peas, and yogurt with berries.
Okay, this is the first one I'm not into at all.
Well, and the first one, the U.S. one that we grew up eating all the time. And
I mean,
you guys
I'd eat it 5 out of 10.
5 out of 10. I'll eat it every day. Wow. Okay, so this one, Ireland, Germany, France, or England. Oh. Okay. I think I got it.
Who do you think?
I'm disappointed in my answer, but I'm guessing Ireland.
I was gonna say Ireland or England.
Mm-hmm.
Well, just to mix it up, then I'll go England.
Okay.
Oh, so bland. All
Right.
right, I've been to England, and I'm sorry if you're English, if you're British. Is that the same thing?
Mm-hmm.
If you're from there, if you're from England, your food is terrible. I'm
Wow.
sorry. The only good thing I ever ate there was fish and chips.
And this is coming from someone from America who, according to our international school lunch, it was pretty awful too.
Our school lunches are awful. Our food in America, great.
Is that because we're like this melting pot of all
Yeah.
the things?
You can get
Sweet.
everything.
Hey, that's the
Man.
end of that game.
That's
Nathan,
awesome.
you absolutely dominated that one.
It happens.
So well done.
Sick.
Hey, we're starting a new series right now. We will be right back. Oh man, we are back. I'm so excited for this series.
be fun.
We're flashing back to the 90s. If you couldn't tell from that bumper video that just played,
I love the 90s.
The 90s were probably one of the best decades because that's when we went through like middle school and high school. And that's what makes it the best because you and I were a part of it.
The 90s also had like record high levels of crime and a lot of terrible things happened. But
Why do you gotta bring that stuff up?
I don't care. We loved it. The
all right,
90s were awesome.
Everything was rad, right?
Everything was
And you
rad.
guys watching, most of you, none of you probably were around during the 90s except for our leaders. So we're gonna start off with a little bit of a history lesson.
Okay.
We're gonna teach you guys some slang from our days.
Okay.
And
That's
so we have a few words written down that we want to make sure we share some. If you think of others, maybe we can decide if like we ever said these at all.
Okay,
First
yeah,
obvious
yeah.
one is instead of like, hey, how are you today? Or what's going on? We were really lazy, so we would say,
Sup?
sup, S-U-P,
Sup.
right? Sup. I know some people still say that today.
Do they?
So it's come back a little bit.
Yeah.
One that I think was made popular by the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air is the phrase fly. Like that's
Oh,
pretty
man,
fly.
That's so fly.
Right? Like that's a good thing.
I never said fly,
That's fly.
but I remember.
No,
that
I
being a
wasn't.
thing.
I don't think I was cool enough to say fly.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't think I was cool enough to say any
of these?
Yeah.
Talk to the hand
Yep.
was another one. Or then you would say like talk to the palm and it's 5 little friends.
Yeah.
If you really wanted to get aggressive with telling someone to just stop talking
So
to you.
dumb.
Like you would shove your hand up and say talk to the hand because you didn't want to have a conversation. Very mature of us.
Oh yeah.
It was awesome. We're great.
perfect. Okay.
If someone was like doing all the things really well, you would say that person is all that in a bag of chips.
We had there was downtown in Fort Collins. There was a place called All That and a Bag of Chips, and it was like an arcade, but you got a bag of chips when you came in. It was super cool.
I love that.
Yeah.
Love that. Home skillet.
I still say home.
Yeah, what's
skillet.
up, home skillet?
What's up, home skillet?
He does say that sometimes too. Me still.
Yeah.
It's weird. Booyah.
Booyah! And now see, I use the more formal boo yes.
Boo yes. That'd be this would be like mic drop
Booyah.
or something incredible just happened. Like you might say pogger
Oh my goodness.
when you do something really cool. I would say booyah.
Booyah.
In fact, I worked for a little while at a place called My Gym Children's Fitness Center.
Okay.
It was a fitness activity class for kids.
Yeah.
And so with the younger groups, when we did different sessions, sometimes we would end the day, I would read a story to them. And my favorite was Green Eggs and Ham.
Okay.
And every time I read Green Eggs and Ham, when I got to I do not like them, Sam, I am, I would say booyah. And I got all the kids to just shout booyah. And so I had a group of like 20
Wow.
5-year-olds who were shouting that 20 kids that were 5 years old.
It took me a second.
Yeah.
Got it.
And it was awesome because then they went home that day back to their families
It said
knowing
booyah.
the word booyah. Any others that stand out that you remember from?
No, slang is always dumb. And for those of you now,
It's always dumb.
slang is still dumb. If you say, what do they say now? They say bet.
Yeah.
Or they say poggers. It's
So good.
In 20, 30 years, you're going to look back and be like, that was so dumb that we said these types of things. And I look back at this and say, this was so dumb that we said these type of things. It was awesome, though. The 90s were great.
No
Something
duh,
can-
Nathan. That was another
No
stupid one
duh.
from our day. Yeah. All right, let's move on.
Oh, my goodness.
We gave you a little history
Awesome.
lesson so that you can feel bad for the things that we used to say when we were
And
your
maybe
age.
think about the things you say, what will sound dumb in a few
in
years.
1 year, 5 years, 10 years, whatever it is. All right, so we're starting this series on RAD. We're going to be talking about talking and listening.
Okay.
Two very important
Talking
things.
and listening.
Because as we'll see, like God has something to say about how we communicate with each other that's pretty radical from what maybe other people might think. Now, in the 90s, radical meant cool. Like it was a good thing. Now
Totally
today,
radical.
totally rad. Today, sometimes that word has like some negative connotations with it. Oftentimes like people with like extreme or dangerous views about
you're a
something.
radical.
Politically, religiously, they're often called radicals. But we're going to look at the word on the positive side
good.
of it.
How the Ninja Turtles would say it.
How the Ninja Turtles would say it. Absolutely. So if you're radical, the way we're using the word, you might not be content with the status quo.
Okay.
Okay?
I like
so you
it.
want to make some changes because you're sick of things just the way they are.
Perfect. Yep.
Not in a negative extremist type of way, but in a positive, let's make some good
Let's
changes.
try to improve it
Yep.
for the better.
You're radical because you want to be a little different from the world.
Okay.
That's a good thing, I would
That's
say.
a very good thing.
And you're radical because you want to be committed to changing the world for good.
Love
Okay?
it.
So that's what we're looking at. Jesus, he was actually accused of being radical. Now, our Greek text, I don't think actually uses the word radical. But some of the ideas that are talked about with Jesus were a little radical. What he said about God's love was pretty radical in the day. How he told us to love one another was very radical. Right? I think of how Jesus often went to the people that his fellow people, the fellow Jews, would like stay away from and were like against those types of people. And so they wouldn't do anything to love them. And Jesus was always engaging them, loving them, welcoming them in, telling other people to love them too.
We talked about this in our small group here at the church last week. If you guys are watching now, hi. And hey, me, hi, I'm there too.
That's awkward.
We talked about this last week, though. We were talking through the life of Jesus and how one of the things that eventually led to him dying was this radical behavior that just they couldn't understand.
Yeah. So we're going to be, actually for the next 4 weeks, we're going to be in the book of James. And so if you have your Bibles, you can start to go there now. We'll be in
Love
chapter
the book
1
of
today.
James. James
There's
is great.
a lot going on, and I encourage you guys, maybe in your small groups or just on your own, because we're not going to be able to, we don't have time to go through the entire chapter each week. So we'll zoom in on just a few key verses, but read the entire book of James over these next 4 weeks. Maybe
great.
just take a chapter a week and you'll be good to go. So the book of James, it's a letter written by
James.
yeah.
Surprise.
Yeah. Now, this is the brother of Jesus, James.
Right.
The half brother of Jesus. Talk about like pressure.
Seriously, that would be
Right.
so
Imagine
intense.
growing up and your sibling is Jesus, the Son of God, the Savior of the world. And then there you are,
Like, oh, hey,
James.
I'm James.
But what we can know is that Jesus had a pretty big influence on the life of James. If you're living with this person,
Right.
growing up with him, you're going to have some influence. What I love about James is even though Jesus is not talking in this letter at all, it is all about his teachings.
That's awesome.
Because James knew them so well because he lived with Jesus. He knew
Right.
Jesus. He knew his teachings. He was able to kind of retell and reiterate some of these things in his own words really well. Like, I want to get to that point where I know Jesus' teaching so well that it just comes out naturally.
When you just talk, it's just in line with it.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I love it.
So let's look at James chapter 1, verses 19 and 20. Nathan, if you want to read it, and we'll kind of talk a little bit about it real quick.
And we're reading from the ESV today. So if you want to read the same translation as us, that's one we're looking at. And James writes, "Know this, my beloved brothers, let every person be quick to hear, slow to speak, slow to anger. For the anger of man does not produce the righteousness of God.
Okay, so there's three like key things that James mentions here, right? We need to be quick to hear or quick to listen.
Yep.
We need to be slow to speak and then slow to get angry. So these are easy to understand, I feel like. These words make sense to me.
Sure.
But man, they're difficult to do.
Yeah.
Right? This goes against everything that feels natural.
Well, yeah. But then, I don't know. There's like that old, like, Mama always said God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like we're built
that way.
Yeah.
It's almost like this makes sense in the grand design of everything, right? So like, did you know the average human has an 8-second attention span?
That's worse than a goldfish, I think.
Yeah, I think so. And so that's why I think being quick to listen is so difficult for us, because every 8 seconds, our minds are wandering or thinking of something else. Like you guys right now listening to us, you've probably zoned out at least a dozen times.
Probably at least.
If not more. Slow to speak is difficult because we all have opinions.
Right.
And I want to share my opinion as quick as I can.
And it kind of goes with that 8-second attention span.
Right.
Usually what we do is we listen long enough to start figuring out what we're going to say to respond.
Yeah.
And then we're just waiting for that gap in the conversation so we can put our own response in.
Right.
Ooh, that's tough.
It is. And then the last one is slow to get angry. Right. But for a lot of us, we have a hard time controlling that. It's just like the emotion that bursts out when we're irked by something.
Irked.
Is that a 90s word? I don't know.
Irked.
I'm going to call it one.
No, Urkel was the 90s
Urkel
word.
was from the 90s. Yes. Yeah. So I feel like instead of listening to other people, we're consumed with our own lives, our own thoughts, our own worries, our own insecurities. Instead of really being slow to speak and thinking through what we're about to say, we're the opposite. We quickly say things and often end up hurting people with our words.
Yeah.
Intentionally or unintentionally. That is oftentimes what happens.
Right.
And then with the anger part, like it seems like we have a really hard time controlling that, right? We let our emotions get the best of us. Now, anger is not bad. We talked about that in high school group in Sunday school in reading through Ephesians. Yeah. It's in our anger, do not sin. And so I think when we're quick to get angry, we have a hard time then controlling that. So James says, like, this isn't the way that God has designed you. Our slow to listen, quick to speak, and quick to get angry, right? And if you look at the life of Jesus, he was a good model for this.
Yeah.
Right?
How he lived.
Yeah, it's awesome. And so I encourage you guys to dig in, talk about maybe in your groups tonight, the life of Jesus. Jesus did get angry sometimes, but it was never a quick, immediate emotional response. It was a righteous anger. When Jesus was asked questions, he oftentimes, instead of just answering right away, would ask more questions to the person,
would ask them questions
to
back.
get them to continue to think and speak, because he wanted to listen more. He genuinely cared about people and wanted to hear from them. Like, that's what we should be doing. When we love others the way that Jesus loves people, it has the power to change us, it has the power to change others, and it has the power to change the world in some radical ways. So I want to read Psalm 15. Nathan, if you'll do that, and then we'll wrap up with this so you guys can get into your small group discussions.
And I'm reading from the NASB on this. I'm just to change it up a little. Psalm 15, a psalm of David. Lord, who may reside in your tent? Who may settle on your holy hill? One who walks with integrity, practices righteousness, and speaks truth in his heart. He does not slander with his tongue, nor do evil to his neighbor, nor bring shame on his friend. A despicable person is despised in his eyes, but he honors those who fear the Lord. He takes an oath to his own detriment and does not change. He does not lend his money at interest, nor does he take a bribe against the innocent. One who does these things will never be shaken.
Wow. So David says that people who want to be close to God, they aren't speaking poorly of others. They're not harming others. They're speaking truth. And this sounds a lot like what we just read from James.
Amazing how that works.
Wow. And Jesus actually, he talked about the Psalms quite a bit. And so I have a feeling that maybe this is one he talked about at least in home with his brother. And so his brother was constantly reminded of this. Like, can you imagine how your relationship with God might change if we were to actually look more like Jesus in this way?
Wow.
Like if we were to actually be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to get angry. Like, it's hard to feel close with God when I'm mistreating others, when I'm thinking negative thoughts towards other people, when I'm not loving.
Right.
But the reverse of that is true too. When I am loving others and I'm listening to them and really caring for them, it's easier to draw close to God, right?
Oh, that's cool.
So think about how maybe like with your family, your friends, your school, the world, how it might be different if we all actually started to really treat each other this way.
Love it.
So if you want to see a radical change, then you have to be a radical person. And radical people listen more than they speak.
Okay.
So tonight in your groups, you guys are going to talk a little bit more about that and unpack that a little more. But before you go, we want to throw a QR code on the screen.
That's right. So this QR code right here, if you scan that, I'm going to leave it up. It's going to be right here between us. So yeah, be careful, Matt. Don't touch it. If you want to scan this, it's going to be up this whole time. You can read along in a plan that will go through what we are talking about through this entire new series. It's going to be really fun. You're not going to want to miss it. So everybody that's up, if you've got a phone, scan this. Now, if you don't have a phone, that's okay. We can still talk to your leader and we can still find ways for you to read along with us. But I'm going to encourage everybody in your group to do this. And if you're not in, this is in the Bible app. So if you don't have the Bible app, you're going to have to get that.
Right.
But make sure you send each other all in your group friend requests, because it's a great way to encourage each other as a small group within the Bible app.
That's fantastic.
And as always, if you haven't done so already, QR code's gone. But if you haven't done so already, make sure, take a minute, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Turn on the notifications. You're not going to want to miss these things. So if you have YouTube, please like and subscribe this, because then other people can see this as well. And maybe this will help them as well.
Sounds good. Have fun in your groups, guys. We'll see you next time.
See you next week.